Greetings everybody, Brian Singh here from Brian's Stable, and I am in Jaisalmer, India, and today we're going to go and check out Jaisalmer Fort, a World Heritage Site. So stay tuned, it's going to be exciting. We're here with our driver Sachin and we're off to the fort. Namaste.
Hello, I'm local guide from Jaisalmer. So today we start our tour from here to visit the quietly, slowly we can walk to visit the fort of Golden City in Jaisalmer. Then we can went to the Haveli, which is there outside, the old city, which is houses made out of Jain people. They are very big houses. Then we can walk local market and we see all town.
One thing we have to keep in mind that the fort is actually a working, living area, not just a tourist attraction. It's incredible. It's like straight out of 1001 Arabian Nights.
So now we are inside part of the first gate of the fort. So this is one of the second biggest fort if you heard about. That's we call Jaisalmer. First one we call the Chittorgarh, which is around 20 kilometer. Then second Jaisalmer, which is around 5 kilometer area. And this fort built from Haraval Jaisal 1156 AD. It's nearby 1,000 year old. When they built this fort, we have interlocking system who can hold the dry construction because Jaisalmer was dry. We only depend in monsoon that time. We don't have that much place to keep the water, so we only keep water where we have. Yesterday we went the place we call the artificial lake, which is built from Haraval Garsi Singh in 1367 in lake, where we have place where we keep the water. That water we can use to drink and cooking and everything. After that, some guys they put the where are catfish, they bring somewhere else. So that water we don't use now. Now we have water which has come from the Himalayas, which is from the last border on from Himalayas. From there to pipelines, we get the all connectivities, the water from Jaisalmer. That water we can use to drink and cooking, everything for Jaisalmer. And in the fort nowadays there are 4,000 people are living, which is belong to the two castes, Brahmin and Rajput. Brahmin, they are advisor of the Maharaja and they are worship in the temple and they watch the account. Rajput, they are warriors, so they can fight with the enemies and they watch out of the palaces and everything. Every city normally we have two names in like Rajasthan, because in Jaisalmer that's the name of the king Jaisal. Meru we call in Sanskrit for the mountain. So this fort built from the one mountain. That's why we call Jaisal plus Mer. Second name we have city of the color of the yellow sandstone. That's why we call the golden city of Jaisalmer, because of the yellow sandstone. How come sun in the sky? Slowly when they're getting lights in the stone, all color they're getting the change with the stone colors. And they have three parts almost, like a triangle fort. 33 bastion on that side, 33 and 33. Like that 99 bastion surrounding the fort, where you can see on the top, there also we have some rounding cannon balls, which is we use for the enemy. If example, someone they attack to Jaisalmer, one soldier of Jaisalmer just they throw this stone, they push, so enemy don't successful come that part of the fort. So we use for the enemy. These are the rounding cannon balls and some big stone which is like a cylinder. Right on the top there are these two all palaces. Flag one, there's palace of the Maharaja, and right there up on the top the symbol of umbrella, there's palace of the Maharani for the queen. So these are the two all palaces. In the fort there is only one way. This is way go to the fort. Between that there are four gates. First one we call the Akhe Pole. Akhe, that's the name of the founder. Pole means we call in Marwari our language the big gate, the Akhe Pole. Then second we call the Suraj Pole, the sun gate. Then number third known as a Ganesh Pole, the elephant god, the good luck in Hinduism, because we start everything with the Ganesh. So nowadays this is the third gate, but that's the first gate of the fort. Then number four, that's we call Hawa Pole. The Hawa is the wind. Wind Gate, that's the last gate. Jaisalmer was famous from as a silk route and opium and spices and jewelries, and especially for that. So when people they are fight with the enemies, so king of Jaisalmer, they giving opium always to the soldier, so they don't have that much pain when they are fight with the enemy. If they think some happens, so if they have opiums in his body, so they don't get that much pain, so they are used for the opium that time to eat, and they are going to fight with the enemies. Even opium they make people quietly young. If they old people they use like a little piece of opiums, they can walk like a horse, they don't feel normally they're tired, they get the energy and everything. They make the small holes, so people they can't seal it. Slowly they can make all part of the fort.
Okay.
That's why we use. And this is we call the second gate. That's we call Suraj Pole, the sun gate.
These guys are doing this without any visors, and there's rock chips flying everywhere. So occupational health and safety standards are not as stringent in India as elsewhere.
Ganesh is a Hinduism good luck from the Ganesh elephant god, son of Shiva. So when we build the fort, we start from here 1156 AD.
These carpets are and handicraft. They're part of the standards. They're part of the style that you get out here in Rajasthan. All handcrafted. And the other thing too is that mirror work is renowned in Rajasthan. So one of the things you're going to see in a lot of the videos here in Jodhpur, Jaipur, and Udaipur, there's going to be a central theme of mirrors and glass.
From the beautiful balcony, that's we call the masses balcony. Before Jaisalmer was famous from the silk route, from the opium. So one guy sitting there with the basket to watching the town. When he need to give any information, we have some special codes. So there was one big drum, so he beat the drum. People they understand what's to happen, good and bad. So we use for the masses balcony. That's for the masses balcony.
It's a little crazy here. As I said, it's a working historic site.
So now right, we are in front of the last gate. That's we call Hawa Pole.
Right.
Because by June, that's time in Jaisalmer, we have normally temperature around 45 between 50 degrees.
Wow.
It's very hard to people to walk and live. So that time people just they are come here to sitting to killing time.
Right.
They play with the cards and some games, all activities they can doing easily they can killing time here. So this is one of the very coolest part in fort.
It's very deceptive because when you're on the ground and looking up, you really don't expect to see this level of development on top of the fort. But this thing goes on forever.
We are in the square in Dasera Chowk, that's we call, which is we used to, especially for the 3 and 4 festival in Dasera Chowk. That's we call Dasera is a before festival of coming Diwali, when we used to fire the firecrackers. And also we use for the Holi festival, which is just come for the next month, color of festival Holi. And one festival we have the Gangur, that's the festival especially for the girls and women, for the ladies. That's we use for that. These are the two old palaces which is built from Maharajan Gadra Singhs in 15th century. Before they are living there after 15th century Maharaja, and that's palace we call for the Maharani, for the Queen. Queen, old time here we have system of parda, cover the face. When the festival running, people they don't know where are women sitting, but women they can watch easily what's going in festival, because there are average balcony that you can see through by the small halls, so they can watch easily what's going in festival, so we can use for that. Right there you can see the chair which is under the cage, the white marble chair, that's we use for the Maharaja, which nowadays present Maharaja. Everywhere in Rajasthan we have different title name. In Jaisalmer we have Maharaval, Jodhpur we have Maharaja, Chittor we have Maharana. So present Maharaval in Jaisalmer is just like a very young 28-year-old. His name is Maharaval Chaitanya Raj Singh because his father he passed in COVID around 3 years ago. Is around 52-year-old. And he's one of the handsome guy in all Asia. He's a very strong and very nice guy. But just he gets some problem and some things, so that's the bad happens for us in Jaisalmer.
What the guide was telling us is that one side of this road is for the vegetarians, the Brahmins, and the non-vegetarians on the other side. So to go in this temple, we have to take off our shoes, and also we have to get rid of our water. We're going to find out about that.
So now we are inside part of the big complex of the Jain temple, which is built in 15th century. Surrounding that, there are 6,666 prophet of Jain. When we count these all, they are going 24. Like they have 24 prophets, especially when we count 6, 6, 12, 12, 6, 18, 18, 6, 24. So they have 24 prophets. Why Jain people, they went in Jain temples, they always put the scarf, that time to the praying time, they put the scarf here because they don't want to kill any fly, mosquito, anything. So they always put a scarf in nose and mouth. And the top there you can see, it's a beautiful, you can see beautiful architects, which is like a one piece of the stone middle of there is like a lotus, and then surrounding there different 12 statue of Lord of Shiva, Parvati, and God of Ganesh as a Shiva family.
One of the interesting things here is this stone is actually very old and quite prehistoric, and if you look very carefully, there are fossils in there. As most desert areas are great for fossils, Rajasthan is no different. Going into the other temple here. Very nicely. The detail on this is incredible. All of this is built atop the fort, which is even more incredible.
Yeah, my sister name is Krishna, and it has some reason to make behind it. It's called thread of identity.
Okay.
So every single caste, they do the different workmanship. According their caste, they have the technique of making embroidery. So we call thread of identity. It means when you wear the costume, when the women wear the costumes, it shows their identity. We don't need to ask that where you from. Now we don't know. Okay. Right? But in former time, in the desert, or still when we go in the desert, it's really hard question that you ask someone that which caste or where you from. People recognize, men recognize by their way of the turban, women recognize by their of costumes.
Right.
So all that what we have here, we preserve it. Nothing here for selling.
Yeah.
No, just people can come and they can see.
All right. And so what do you call these things?
We call antique textile of the Thar Desert.
Okay.
Yeah. Every single caste, you see, the different caste work different here.
All right.
Yeah.
So the signaling theory was very important. They had to be able to show themselves as what caste they were, so that way people knew how to communicate with them.
Yes. So if you would like to have the view of the fort,
right,
then this is my home upstairs. Please go ahead on the roof, and you can see whole fort view.
I'm going to take him up on that offer.
You can see the view.
So is this your family's place that you've converted?
Yes, this is my family place. I live here. All my ancestors is living here.
All right.
My father building is this. He got from his father.
Right.
We have like 1800 years old our history of our family.
Right.
Surname of my family is called Gopa. So my family is guru of the king.
Right.
Right. So king here is Bhati.
Right.
In warrior caste, and we are from Brahmin caste.
Right.
You can say the Bhatis people, they are the only empire in this world which from that period to today is still same. It not change.
Wow. So that's almost 2,000 years.
Yeah, almost 2,000 years. They
Right.
have long, like, there is several region which is Bhatis people belong from
Right.
all the way from Mathura to Ghazni
Right,
in Afghanistan.
right,
All that empire is belonging to the Bhatis family.
right.
And we are Brahmins, so we are like a priest of their family or their cousin families, like that, everybody.
Right.
So this is how we get all these homes from their family. They have been given us. They
Fascinating.
have been given us lot.
It's incredible. It's very rare that you have to go to places like Asia to find this long of a tradition.
Yeah.
And I find it fascinating. There's a big population up here.
No, not big population. Only 2,000 people live.
2,000 people live on the fort?
Yeah.
Oh,
Only
okay.
2,000 people.
So it just looks...
It's just look because the people coming tourists, so you find it, in the
Okay.
morning. Evening you come, your fort is completely different.
Okay.
We all come out, our wives, children, they come out.
Right.
We complete 2,000 people, only 1,300 boaters
Okay.
in the fort. And then children's and all that, around 2,000 people.
Okay.
So not big.
Well, my sisters went shopping and I got to see something very unique. I'd readily admit, some of these Indian salesmen are amongst the best in the world. They really are very slick. And it's no surprise when Indians do leave India, that they do very well in business.
Orange juice only 50 rupees. No ice, no water, no sugar. Orange juice only 50 rupees. No ice, no water, no sugar.
They speak in day more than 10,000 times.
Yeah. But like he knows the Western tourist taste,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But I took a break for coconut here. One of the things that is I find safest to drink is because it's
Voice is very hard.
I know. It's a self-contained container, so not as much risk of contamination, and it's very safe to drink.
Coconut.
And-
No ice, no water, no sugar, no plastic.
And it's also very refreshing, and it's a very good replacement for any of your sweat.
Sab juice pilau, everybody.
And also,
Orange juice, coconut.
if you've been eating a lot of Indian food, sometimes it's really helpful to help calm the gut. So when traveling in India and the Indian subcontinent, coconut water is your best friend. Well, we're wrapping up here on top of the fort, and we are going to go to the Havelis now. And we're heading outside of the fort now. One thing that's very unique in India is that marijuana has been legal for a long time, and this is a government authorized bong shop. So I may or may not be checking that out later. Just going to walk through the local market here in Jaisalmer. This is where mainly the locals shop, but it's a little quieter. Got to go the low passageways. I love old cities forts. Just gives you a sense on people just built and created a living space in every little nook and cranny. And they just keep creating a lot of very interesting architecture amidst where people are living.
So now, right, they are in front of one of beautiful mansion. That's we call Diwan Ratmal Ki Haveli.
Right.
Ki Haveli is the private house, and this is architect from the two brothers, the name of Lalu and Hathi, like the flowers and that things. Then you can go for the left side, there is small balconies. They divided from two parts with a stone and wooden. That's just one piece. Then you can go a little up on the top, the middle part of the balcony, the bottom. There you can find two head of loin, left side. Right hand side they have just one head from the loin. You found out? Then you can go a little up in the balcony. The left side there you find a small balcony with the three different color of the windows. Right side there is the one window. Then you can go up on that corner. There is Krishna with the flute. There is lion and elephant. Then you can go for next balcony. There you find the goddess of money, local called the Lakshmi, with the two elephants. there is a big camel caravan, horses, train, all they are running. Then you can go for that balcony. There is peacock dancing with the Krishna of the flute. There is only peacocks. Then you can go for the last balcony there. Then you find the design of like a pineapple and diamond designs they are hanging down there. And that parts you can find just design of the like lips. And that parts look like a new, but not. It's built in some time in 1885. Because May, June, July, that's time we have here big desert storms. We have a lot of wind and sand. That's time for the raining. So that time all the sun reflection and the sand will become in that part of the where are the filigree work, small work. So it's going in there. That's why it looks so browny and old, and that's look like new because there is very less work. It's built is same time it's built. What you can see the different outside, same things they have inside. The beautiful room you can see inside where the tourists they are walk. There is golden painted room with a glass from the Belgium and nice paintings and as well there. People are living, but there is a small shop. But they don't push to buy. If you like anything, you can. Out of the camel bone, bronze, they can sell some god and goddess figure, small things. So they have out of this there.
Okay. A little alcove here with all these very interesting paintings. The handwork on these window shutters is stunning. Again, these mirrors were handmade. So I'm here in the Haveli and I'm with, and you are?
The 7th generation of the Prime Minister of Jaisalmer.
Oh, well, I'm speaking with royalty. Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about the Haveli and this.
It's your service.
Yeah.
First of all, we can meet with this man up at here.
Uh-huh.
Actually, he was the first owner of this house.
Oh.
He was the Prime Minister of Jaisalmer in 1865.
Okay.
And this the man is my great-great-great-grandfather. I am the 7th generation after him, and still my family is living ground and back part of this house, and this part for the visitors to visit. Now the major specialty in this room, that's the beautiful balconies which we're looking at. Actually, these balconies are crafted in 4 single pieces of stone only. I mean to say each side one big piece, that's it. If you look at from this corner that joint to that corner that joint, this is complete one piece of stone.
Wow.
So 4 side, 4 big pieces we do have. And in these 4 big pieces, we can count 32 different designs. Each single panel, each single design is different than other one.
And the principles of this design, is it coming from the Rajasthani past?
Because it's all the Hindu-Muslim geometrical art.
Okay, yeah. All right, because again, you're not supposed to show the face of people.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's why.
Okay.
And I hope from outside you had seen that this particular house was built by 2 brothers who decided to build in a sort of a friendly competition. So I hope you found a little bit different outside when we divide the house. Those similar differences, they continued inside too. For example, if you look at in the corner there, a statue of a man up there in the corner, a statue of a dancing lady up there in the corner. Here we have 1 musician, but here we got 2 musicians. If you come just below of the 2 musicians, little lotus designs, but after the middle, dancing peacocks are here. So like that, it's looking similar, but when we go through detailed of it, panel to panel, design to design, it's completely different.
Okay. And in the alcove here, what's with these paintings?
It's all original, sir. The yellow color up at here, what we're looking at actually, it was pure gold. And that time, those 2 brothers, they spent around 1 kilogram of gold to done the painting in this part. This particular house was started to build in 1872, and they got completed in 1885. Took around 13 years to complete.
It's beautiful.
And this is the photo of the 2 brothers who spent their 13 years life to complete. They are the 2 brother architects.
So these are your...
No, they were the 2 brother architects, not the owner. Owner was the Prime Minister.
One thing that's a little surprising here in Jaisalmer, and this is just to give you a sense of the state of development, is that there are open sewers here, and well, mainly open drain pipes for water. And one thing you really do have to watch yourself for is the cows do defecate all over the place, and that just gets washed down in the open drains here. So you get some interesting smells in your travels within the town center here in Jaisalmer. It's quite amazing, even on the little side streets here. The attention to the ornate detail of these havelis is incredible. And these are homes. Very attractive, obviously some constraints as to when you are in a historical city that seems like you're a bit frozen in time, going back to many centuries ago. The traditions here have been long and established, that even though there's a lot of development around here and a lot of tourists, it's amazing how much frozen in time that some of this seems. And it's enchanting. So Dar, what century do you feel we're in?
Oh my goodness, we are in Middle Ages.
It is, isn't it?
Middle Ages.
All right. Kids here are just so wonderful. There is downstairs and there's the upstairs. They use this as part of their ventilation system, and these buildings are all very cool, and it's the peak tourist season here, and the weather out here is quite comfortable. If you come here in the summer months, it tops out very in the mid 40s in Celsius, which is getting up to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So you do roast out here in Rajasthan. But given the design of these places, obviously these are old places, they've had a lot of time to figure out what works and what doesn't in terms of how to keep cool during every season and also stay warm in the winter. And the design of these homes do reflect that through and through. And I think that when we do look at a lot of places in the Middle East and also in hot climates, they use these types of design of the thicker walls on the outside with a central ventilation spot in the inside, which also regulates the airflow. Very good environmental design and also very smart architecture. But they also sell this very unique Rajasthani silver. They're very relaxed on things that look like futons, and they have all of their jewelry all around. We have a bit of a cow traffic jam here. This area to the side of the fort is kind of interesting because they have all of these hotels and restaurants with rooftop patios that give you a fantastic view of the fort from different angles, and they're lovely to eat at night because the fort is lit up, and also at sunset when the fort does glow with its sandstone structure. And on this side of the fort seems to be an area, a lot more residential up there, while at the same point, the odd hotel, but it seems to be the hardware district for things like cement, tiles, and building materials. Okay. Hey. Okay, folks, we're going to part our ways with Anu here. Anu, say bye-bye. It's been lovely, and thank you again for
Sachin is coming now.
and he's been a wonderful guide. Thank you very much.
Welcome, it's my pleasure.
Stepping away from my sisters and the guide, I decided to do a little bit of discovering on my own atop the fort here. And once you get away from all the main areas, heavily trafficked, you start to, it's much quieter. Listen, it's incredible. And they have all these very cool little cafes and whatnot here. I may check out something right now. Decided to stop for a chai at this cafe, but let's check out the view from here. That's what it's all about. Lots of windmills in the distance. I noticed on the way here, there's a lot of solar panels. So they're investing heavily in renewable energy out here in Jaisalmer. But this is a pretty magnificent view. No complaints. As you go further into the fort side here, where I think more people live, obviously it's much more quiet, but everything gets more narrow. And it does remind me of some of the World Heritage city sites I've visited in Europe, where everything is very tight, and as you go further in, just so that people were able to maximize use of space, the roads do get narrower. Well, it's pretty obvious that the economy here is pretty much tourism.
Just look, I'm not telling you to buy.
As you can see, we have here the carpet factory, and the products are excellent. They're all handmade and very intricate design. But this is how people make their living here. And it's not hard to see that given the nature of the site, and it's just absolutely spectacular. I hope that these guys do make a sustainable living. I can anticipate that it's a bit of a hard life because tourism is a very tough way to make a living. I used to work in the industry for a number of years. It's quite fascinating to see how much the preservation of their society is tied to tourism and how much of it is actually unaffected, and that they take so much great pride in the craftsmanship of what they do and how it's displayed on the site. I'm actually amazed that in this section of the fort, there's nobody. It's so quiet. I was told that there's a lot of the hotels off to the side here of the fort. And this must be the most western-facing side of the fort over here, where they have the sunset views and more of the hotels. Seems to be a bit of a bookstore district back here. I remember back in 1991, that was a big thing, because pre-internet, we had to, if we're getting a book, it was a physical book, and we took pride in being able to trade books with other travelers. But I also really enjoyed the opportunity to discover new novels just by going to bookshops and seeing all these books by Indian authors. I know it sounds trite, but this is how I discovered the book Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie. Just talking to one of these vendors here back in 1991. As I wind my way outside of the fort here, this has been truly a remarkable experience. I feel like I've stepped back in time, but also experienced something that is so unique. This is the only place in the world you could experience something quite like this. They really have a very strong sense of identity, and it's been very refreshing. They're very proud of who they are and what they have to offer the world. Okay, folks, as I'm walking out here through the second to last gate off the fort, it's been a magnificent journey here today. And I hope that one day you get to come out here, sample a bit of Jaisalmer, and you too can taste the world.